Thank you all for joining my Ninja Strategies for 2025 webinar series. We are in our second webinar, and I am thrilled to introduce you all to Michael and Karen, and they are with the Little Green Pain Spray. Did I say that right?
Well, Little Miracle paint spray, but yeah.
Little Miracle
Comes in a
pain
green bottle. Everybody knows it as the green. We wear green.
Yes. So our new friends here are actually going to be first time exhibitors at our show. They are a small family owned company. So I wanted to let them on so they could feel a little bit of love, so we could introduce their smiling faces to all of you before we see all of your smiling faces at the summit. Just a few housekeeping. This is an ongoing conversation. So if you have any questions at all, please pop them in the chat. Our awesome #1 coach, Mike, is on the call to help me with any questions that you may have throughout. I will give it over to you. Is it Michael or Mike?
You know, with a name like Mike or Michael, technically it's Michael. Most people end up calling me Mike. My email is actually Mike. I go by either. It's really not a big deal.
Okay. All right. Well, I will call you Michael since that's what you prefer. You guys go ahead and take it away. Tell us about your awesome product.
Hey, well, I greatly appreciate that. And while I wanted to, obviously introduce you to Little Miracle Pain Spray, which we invented, we manufacture, and we distribute. I also wanted to, kind of share some of our experience of going into, well over 1,000 pharmacies throughout the Southeast United States and other places as well. So, when we go into pharmacies, it's pretty easy to tell whether they're going to do good or going to do well with over-the-counter sales, or if maybe they're going to struggle a little bit. And I just want to do a quick little overview of things that we see that pharmacists do really well, and some of the things that maybe they could improve on a little bit. And really just kind of wanted to lay that as a land. And then secondly, I'll tell you guys a little bit about our product. So when we go into a pharmacy, there's usually a couple indications that we see almost immediately whether or not it's going to be a good fit for OTC or not. One, do they have product on the shelves? Yes. Sometimes they have a lot of product, but they still don't sell it. But more importantly, it's really the way that their techs and their cashiers and their customer service people engage the staff. Engage their customers. Mm-hmm. And so if we walk into a place, they can be absolutely slammed. But if somebody is smiling, if they are, acknowledging you, even if they're on the phone saying, hey, I'll be right with you, and then they're engaging, that is one of the best things that we like to see. We know that those type of pharmacies have a better chance of succeeding with OTC than others. So what's that other one look like? And look, we get it. As a pharmacist, you get slammed Monday mornings, Friday mornings, every day. But sometimes your staff just gets heads down. They don't want to look up. They don't want to make eye contact. They're avoiding speaking to the next customer because they're overwhelmed. And usually if that's the case, they're not really leaving their customers with that feeling of, hey, I'm going to be taken care of. And it kind of breaks that little bit of a bond of trust, which leads to that second part of those that really do well with over the counter. So when you're able to engage your customers and smile, you gain trust with them. And when you recognize or remember who your customer is, or can recognize that they got like arthritic hand and they can't make a fist, or their neck is drooped over, or they're limping, and these are things that are associated with our product, sure. Or they're hunched over, right? When you see those people and you can engage them and say, hey, how are you feeling today? Oh, your hand, it's hurting. Hey, I've got something for you to try. All of a sudden, at least with Little Miracle, it becomes a great, easy sell. Now, I think that this actually applies to a lot of other products as well. If you know your product base, if your techs know what over-the-counter products that you have, if your cashiers know the over-the-counter products that they have, they've tried it and they've used it, it makes it a lot easier to do sales. And so that's my quick little intro. Love to kind of get your feedback, Heather or Mike, and see kind of what you guys have experienced with regards to that.
Well, I think it kind of follows the rule. If you smile, it's hard to have a bad day. Like if you're smiling, you can't really frown. And it's the same thing if you walk into a friendly place. If you're in pain, if you're an impatient person, if you're not really a friendly person, it's hard to not rise to the occasion or rise to the energy when you walk into a pharmacy and they yell, "Good morning, welcome to Faast Pharmacy." All of those kind of things really takes it unguards people, and so they're less likely to create a bad experience. If there's, heaven forbid, something goes wrong, they're much more likely to be kind to your staff and nice to you. And on the flip side, if I am, well, we can take me at the summit. So at the summit, I'm running around like a crazy person. But if I keep a smile on my face, then it's much easier for me to talk to folks, to handle problems, and that same energy comes back to me. So for your employees too, I know that it's hard and it stinks when you want to be head down. I am a head down, just let me get my work done kind of gal, so I get it. But if they could just, if they engage in that positivity, which I know is such a stupid buzzword, but it's the truth. It just lightens the vibe of your pharmacy. It helps everybody kind of cooperate. So I totally agree with what you're saying. And I bet you many of our pharmacy owners would agree as well.
We'd think so. And, we've been in, oh my God, probably more than 2,000 pharmacies over the past, I don't know, 2-3 years. And so, I wish that we could share, how everybody could do better on OTC sales. Yeah. And, that's really one of our goals, because we know that, pharmacies struggle with not making much money, filling scripts and dealing with the PBMs and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
Which kind of leads us into, what we do. Right. So this is Amir from Butterfield's Pharmacy. He actually just purchased his second pharmacy. He orders, 48 bottles at a time for his one store. He's ordering a case at a time for his other store. But you can just look at the guy and you can see that he's happy. Right.
Yeah.
And the reason, and this is the day that we met him. We went into his pharmacy. We said, "Hey, we'd like to introduce you to an all-natural pain relief spray. We sell it in hundreds of pharmacies. There's great margins. It's an easy sell. It has a small footprint, low cost to start." He was like, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And he made a video that he shared with all of his, social media. And now he's just killing it. And, you're talking margins of, for those small bottles, he's making anywhere from $8 to $10 every time he sells one of those small bottles. And for the large bottle, he's making about $26. And as you can imagine, that's a little bit better than, selling a set of tweezers or some gum, or even a lot of the other over-the-counter products that are there.
He's actually more than doubling his money for the large bottle.
Yeah. So that's amazing, right? And in reality, it's a super easy sale. It doesn't take much space. And it works, and people come back and they rebuy it. Yeah. So just to kind of give you a sense, when you do purchase, we set you up with everything that you saw there. We give you signage for your windows and doors, and that's a setup. We give you an acrylic bin. We give you a foam stand-up sign so that people can see it. They see it when they're coming in your store. They're seeing the display. There's a tester bottle that's there so that they can try it before they buy it, which we always encourage. And it has a price point that's not too scary. Small bottle like that goes for between $22 and $25. Your cost is only $13 a bottle, and we have a buyback guarantee that we've never had to use.
Touch wood.
Yeah. So again, super small footprint, and as long as you can get your staff to try it, encourage them, other people to try it, it just goes like gangbusters. And just to give you one quick little sense, this is actually a testimonial from Reed's Compounding Pharmacy, and I'll just let everybody read that. I don't need to read it for you, but she was just happy that we came into her store. Exceeds her expectations. It's one of their top selling OTC, and I've got multiple pharmacies that tell us that we're their number one OTC product. And we're blessed to hear that. And so if you guys would like to know more, please reach out. I left our website. We have a vendor portal. You can sign up. We'll send you more information, or shoot me an email. Happy to do that. So how long does it last on the area of pain? Great question. Everybody's pain is different. When I'm driving, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, when we're out on the road, I carry a lot of tension in my neck. I'll spray it once. And so for other people, they use it as needed. And so that might be twice a day, might be 4 times a day. And so it's really kind of depending on your pain. The types of things that it helps with, and there's a long list, and we hear more of them all the time. Joint pain, as long as it's not bone on bone. Muscle pain, cramps, sunburn, bug bites where the itch or sting, migraine headaches, sciatic nerve pain, neuropathy, plantar fasciitis, arthritis pain, eczema. What was it that Virginia from Party said the other day?
Oh God.
And I forget. She gave us a new one, but it's all kinds of stuff.
Doesn't help with memory, sadly.
We're going to come out with a blog where we can kind of document all this stuff and make it a little bit easier for you guys.
So I just want to make sure, you said you have a buyback guarantee.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
Pharmacists love. I also have to say that some of the folks that attend my webinars regularly wanted to wring my neck because a few products that we have lately, and they were kind of in a row, they were sold on Amazon as well, and yours is not.
No.
That's correct. Now, we do sell it online, direct to consumer. Ultimately, we'd like to phase that out and just have it in all the local independent pharmacies. But, we started off in Florida, and we get a lot of tourists. Well, those tourists go home, they want to reorder it. They, in Michigan or England or wherever,
Sure.
and we do sell it on our own website. We're not on Amazon. We're not trying to use Amazon. Don't plan on getting on Amazon. We do sell it on Etsy and eBay, but mostly just and then we tell people to come to our website or to go to their local pharmacy to buy it.
And one of the things that we always tell the pharmacists that are looking to carry it is, some of your patients are tech savvy. Some of the older ones aren't interested, but some people will look. And if they look on our website, our retail is $25.90 plus about $8 shipping. And if they look on Etsy and eBay, it's $27.95 plus about $8 or $10 shipping. So, their sweet spot is going to be anywhere. And, we don't have the benefit of knowing their particular demographic.
Sure.
But anywhere from say $22 to $25, $24.95, say, would be your sweet spot.
Now,
I did notice some resellers on eBay that was like $38, $48, which
that's not us, but there is somebody that's selling it out there for that.
Well, what I would do with that is say, hey, this is a hot product. Come buy it from me.
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
The reality with pricing is that we never want to undercut you. as a pharmacist. We'd rather, for us, if somebody orders a bottle from me, it's the same amount of effort to send a dozen bottles out to a pharmacy. I'd rather the pharmacies sell it, you know, and that's just, kind of our standpoint. We'll never undercut you on price. You can sell it for whatever you want at a $13 price point. If you can sell it for 22 or $25, that's a really good margin. And on average, and that's everybody who sells, 2 to 4 cases a year to those who are selling 4 cases a month. On average, of our 500 or so retailers, they sell almost a case a month. So about 3/4 of a case a month. So that's not too bad.
What is the initial investment? What does the initial order or order minimums look like?
Yep. So it's actually pretty simple. I showed you a picture earlier. This is what an initial setup looks like. We give you that acrylic bin. It holds the case of 12. We give you brochures, and we have them in English and Spanish if people want to take information with them. We give you a full tester bottle. We give you a foam stand-up sign, as well as the signs for your front door. They're double laminated. They're really nice. They have double sticky pucks. You can take them down and put them back up if you want to clean your windows. We'll always give you more signage if you need it. And then we also leave you with a 16-ounce refill bottle. For your customers, it's like getting 4 bottles for the price of 3. So it's a great value for them. All of the setup, less the 16-ounce bottle, is $156 plus $12 shipping. And we don't charge you for the refill bottle until you reorder. And with our buyback guarantee, if that refill never sells, we just replace it with 3 of the smaller bottles for you. And we've never had to do that. So we're pretty confident leaving with you initially.
That's good. And then you give the tester bottle, which is not always the case in our industry. Lots of pharmacists have to buy samples. So I just want to reiterate that you give that sample bottle, and it's a great, hey, Mr. Mike, I know you're typing all day. Let me put it on your wrist or put it on, whatever ails you. They can try it right there in the pharmacy. And I love that. Maria talked about on our last webinar how great products are that you can allow your folks to sample.
We're at get them away.
But you're right with the last one. When they had a person there, they could test,
Yep.
and in the moment see the results.
Yep.
Take a sample. 15 minutes later, see the result, and it just makes for a super easy sale. It's the same thing with this. Within 2 minutes, people are going to know if it's going to work for them. I'd like to say it works for everybody. It doesn't, but it works for most people.
Is there any cases of folks that you've seen that it doesn't work on? I know you mentioned bone on bone. I heard that loud and clear. Is there any other oddity or type of person that you've seen or type of pain, I should say, that you've seen that it just isn't a good fit for?
I don't think it's so much as besides bone on bone pain, all those things that we've mentioned, it's been very effective for. Like we have neuropathy patients that'll buy the 16-ounce refill. They'll buy 4 at a time. And they literally, we were like, what are you doing with this stuff? Are you drinking it? Don't drink it. It's external use only. And they're like, no, I'm putting it into a foot bath and I soak my feet at night. And it just makes it so that they can sleep because it takes away that stinging and the tingling in their feet. I'd say the big thing is not everybody has this same natural body response to menthol. So this is L-menthol, and if your body doesn't really take to the menthol, if it doesn't allow those nerves to get confused, then it's not going to work for you. Now we've had over the past 3 years, we've had 2 people go back to the pharmacy and say, this didn't work for us and we'd like to return it. And so when the pharmacy told us about that, well, one pharmacy told us about it. The other one, the lady actually called us directly. We called up the pharmacy and we said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and just shoot you on your next order. I'm going to send you a baker's dozen. Go ahead and refund that woman her money.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your customers happy. That's the big thing. We're not selling a bottle or trying to make one little sale isn't worth it to us. We're just trying to make sure that we help people.
I love that. I really appreciate, and even in working with you all to get you set up to be one of our new exhibitors at the show, you've been very easy to work with. You guys both exude hospitality, and at one point, I think you were trying to make it easier for me, which was my job. So. So I really appreciate it. It's kind of why I fell in love with you guys and your story. You guys are here to assist and to help, and you have this awesome thing that can help pharmacies, but you're not by any means becoming billionaires or or trying to become billionaires off the back. So pharmacies, yes, it's business. We're all in business. But you make it very easy to do business with, and you're just there. Like, someone calls you and says it just didn't work for me, I want a refund. You calling the pharmacy and letting them know their customer is unhappy and how you can help them is huge. It's phenomenal. It gives the pharmacist such an upper hand to say, oh my gosh, I heard that you didn't like this. How can I make it right with you? Is oftentimes companies just don't either care or they don't have the infrastructure, and your guys' infrastructures just make it easy. And I love that. Ken
So
asked,
I see the question from Ken.
Okay.
So Ken said, hey, is there any allergic reaction case, warnings to be aware of, expiration date? So on those, we've had one person allergic to menthol.
Which is extremely rare. No, one person was allergic to soy.
Yeah, so we used to use a glycerin that was soy based. And so we actually changed and went to a soy-free glycerin. And that was one allergic case. Some people think that the menthol burns. And if so, you just want to rinse off the area. It is external use only. Don't touch your eyes or other areas.
Yes, if they're rubbing their hands, sometimes with arthritis patients, they'll rub their hands because it feels good, right? So just please have them wash their hands, because we don't want Martha going to the bathroom and coming out screaming, right?
And then as far as an expiration date, we test this, right? So we have to test it, right? So for purity, we want at least 8% of L-menthol in every batch. And we test it out to 5 years. And it is stable at that point. I've used a bottle that was 10 years old. It was still effective. You don't have to worry about it expiring. If you're worried about it expiring, you should be calling us up and saying, this isn't working in my pharmacy, and I'd like you to buy it back. And we'll do that, no questions asked.
I love that. We also should mention, we didn't tell our friends the best part of your story, and that is Karen's father designed this product, created and formulated this product, and he is still alive and well and very frisky, from what I understand. And so it truly is a family company with deep issues in Karen's family.
Well, we all have deep issues for sure.
Well, deep, I didn't mean issues.
Yeah, no.
Deep story.
Thanks, Heather. Yeah, it's really a nice story. My dad is going to be 90 in June, and he promises to retire, actually. So he won't. But 20 years ago, when my dad retired for the second time, he hurt his back. And he went into the local independent pharmacy and said, hey, what do you got? And tried whatever there was. And the pharmacist, who's a buddy of his, said, there's not really a whole bunch of stuff out there that's really good, but, try this, try that. And nothing gave him relief. So he called our old formulating chemist and said, Louis, we got to get back to work. And so it took them a year to come up with it, but of back and forth and testing it out. And they finally came up with a little miracle, and 20 years later, we're still going strong.
I
So
love that.
what Karen always fails to mention is, how does Bob have a chemist and on call? So Bob started off in the pharmaceutical industry as a sales rep. When you had to wear a three-piece suit, white gloves,
Sure.
he'd spend 7 out of 10 weeks driving a car around the country, going into independent pharmacies, selling pharmaceuticals. He worked his way up to head of sales and marketing for a pharmaceutical company, and
Saunders.
yep,
W.F. Saunders.
Saunders. And then he wanted to introduce a new antibiotic to the Canadian market, and his boss said, "Nah, we're good with sales. We don't need to grow anymore." So Bob struck out on his own, created his own company, and started his own pharmaceutical sales company.
And manufacturing.
And then, not too much after that, another manufacturing company was having some financial struggles. So he bought them out of bankruptcy. So not only was he doing sales, he was doing manufacturing. He actually became the largest OTC manufacturer of wets and dries throughout Canada. And so, yes, he did retire, did hurt his back, created this. And we're in 20 different countries because Bob loves going on cruises. And so he was on a cruise for 45 days last year. So we're in 20 different countries, but he was only about 20 miles from his house. And so when he had a health scare, he's still with us, he's doing great. But when that happened, Karen took over the business. And so we're now not just 20 miles from Bonita Springs, but we're now throughout Florida, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. We've got accounts in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Washington, Arizona,
New York.
Texas, New York, and I bet I'm missing Virginia, Oklahoma, Virginia, and that's why we're excited.
Washington.
That's why we're excited to come to DiversifyRx, so that we can introduce it to the throughout the country.
Well, I love your story. I am so thrilled that you guys are joining us. For everybody, if you would like to contact Michael, they're quick. Mike at pantechinc.com. Their information will also be in the replay that gets sent out. Thank you guys so much for taking time today, hopping on, explaining your company, and how it can help our members, friends, pharmacies that we get to help. Pharmacy owners, the summit is just around the corner. So we've got a little less than a month. If you haven't purchased your tickets, email me, Heather at DiversifyRx.com, and I will give you a little code. I'll give you the Heather Ninja Strategies secret code so you can buy your tickets. If you'd like to join our membership, same thing. Email me, and I have a special code there as well. No question. I just want to say hi to Mike and Karen from Neuro Reserve. I use your product and have gifted it to my family. See you at the conference. All right. Very good.
Hey, thank you, Christine. We appreciate that.
And we have testers for attendees. Just come and talk to us. We want to talk to you, and we'll spray you down if you want.
Yeah, well, and you guys likely should likewise go test Neuro Reserve. They will be there. They are an awesome brain product. So for memory, Miss Karen.
Yes.
So check them out at the summit as well.
Yeah, Christine, I think we've met you. If I'm not mistaken, I could be.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
all right,
Heather,
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Have a fantastic rest of your week. I will see you in 2 more weeks on our next edition of the Pharmacy Ninja Strategies. I've got to make these titles easier for me to remember. Bye now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.